What's going on, traders and investors? How are you doing? Johnny here with the Investing for Beginners community. Hope you guys are all having a fantastic day. I do apologize. I did not go live with the LTE team this morning. Um, it was some technical difficulty. Let's just say that for the lead. Nonetheless, though, since we weren't able to trade this morning, we're looking at some swing trades, okay? This is going to be a video on how to identify a swing trade setup, okay? And 3 stocks with major potential over the weekend. Now, I do have 3 up currently. I do have a position in them, and I have been buying, as you can see, in these low point areas and kind of accumulating shares as this begins to show signs of consolidation. Same thing with XPEV. This is right around the 200-day moving average. I do believe this can bounce back up to $12.60 and possibly even up to $14 as long as it holds true to this 200-day moving average, which is exactly why I wanted to buy this little pullback here. Now, I did trade it in this area, was it last week sometime? And now we are trading it again. DJT, we haven't traded this company in a little while, but I did identify that it is finding some support here. And we're going to delete these because those were not significant support levels at all. Maybe this one was actually, and this one. We're going to go ahead and delete that one. Now it is below that support, so this will now become a resistance. But it looks like there is quite a strong support at about $28. So, this could potentially bounce back even, or sell off even more. But I did identify a slight support here at $30. Started buying a few shares to get in, as this could result in a nice push up even to $57. That would be incredible. So now, guys, we're going to go over a few of these and how we identified them, and then we can go over some questions in a minute. Hello, welcome. How is everyone doing today? Hello, hello. How are you guys doing? Looks like quality is kind of poor right now, so let me see if I could adjust it and kind of fix that. There we go. Maybe we can do that. Does that help a little? Oh yeah, that helps significantly. Okay, thank you for being patient. Now, guys, we traded some companies this week. Up over $300 on the week. We did have a couple of days with minor losses or really insignificant profits, almost like a break even. So not too bad, $300 on the week. Now I do want to put that into perspective for you. That's a rough average of a little bit more than $50 a day. That's 300 a week. That's 1,000 a month, and then that's around 12,000 a year. So it can definitely add up and start compounding your account. Now, if you're not necessarily a day trader, then you can look at swing trading. And when there's opportunities like this, now know that these are all risky. These are not recommendations, and I'm not telling you what to buy, hold, or sell. That's not what I do here. I'm simply giving you a little bit of information that you can use to your benefit to find companies that are doing this exact same thing. Maybe you like Google or Nvidia or Tesla or any company that you're looking at. Nike, Microsoft, Coca-Cola, whatever it is. You can identify areas of support and resistance to then be able to buy and take advantage of those oversold positions. Now, I do have a watch list that shows my oversold positions. And as you can see here, Lucy is definitely oversold. Nvidia was oversold here at 132. It's now pushing up to 135. SOBR oversold in my opinion. DJT oversold. TQQQ, this is the market. It was oversold at 69 and then pushed up to 72. And now it's coming back down at 70. So I still believe this is oversold. Coca-Cola is definitely oversold, still selling off. LUNR was oversold at $7. Now it's pushed back up to that 200-day moving level, moving average, which is $8, right? XPEV, in my opinion, it is oversold. It was a little more oversold at the $10 level. OCGN, this is a company we've been watching for a while, definitely oversold compared to where it's traded at before. As you can see here, it had a nice horizontal pattern that we were able to take advantage of for several months. It started back in March, and we were able to take advantage of it all the way until August. And then it basically just could not break above that 200-day moving average anymore. Tested it at 147, started selling off. So now it's starting to see signs of consolidation for a possible move up. I thought that was going to happen last week, but possibly this week or the next week. Now, I'm not invested in this quite yet, or any of these companies really, except maybe two. Intel, very oversold. As you can see, at $35, $36 levels, totally sold off to $18, and now it's slowly trying to find that support above the 200-day moving average, which is great for us, right? It's continuing to push up. We're starting to see progress to the upside, but definitely an oversold company. And we could find these oversold companies. Sometimes you could see returns. I mean, this is already up 23% in 50 days. Potentially go back up to $36 levels, make 100% profit, and go back up to $50 levels, make 166% profit. Doesn't mean it has to happen, but that's why I like to trade these oversold patterns. So going back to R3 here, we're going to see on the 5-minute that we are averaging into our position. On the 30-minute, you can see this is selling off significantly. There is a nice support right here at 1621. Looks like there was some resistance right there at that level, guys, right there. From where it bounced previously, where it had some previous resistance at 1730, to now having that resistance at 1730 again. Now we're starting to identify an area of support, possible reversal. It already looking like it wants to play and roll over. So we are basically buying. I started with 10 and then 20 and then 50 shares down here. So about 80 shares. I need to add maybe about 10 more shares to it. Maybe 20 shares to get to that 100 share position size. I like to trade in about 100 shares. So that way at 34, 40 even, if it pushes up to 1737, well, I mean, if you guys know quick math, from 1637 to 1737 is one exact dollar. $1 on 100 shares is $100. So if this plays out accordingly on Friday, we could, potentially wake up on Monday to $100 on about a $1,600 investment, because that is about what you would need to invest for 100 shares of Mara. So a bit expensive, still below $20, and so I still do find value in this. So with that said, I do see potential that it could bounce up to that $1 mark, but it could even go back up to $19, and you can make $2 or $3 per share. So the longer you hold it, potentially, the more money you can make, as this does play off of Bitcoin, but it has even gone up to $20. So knowing that I buy low, manage my risk, I'm at 1630, maybe I go down to 1620. If it breaks 1620 support, maybe I get out, maybe I average down and buy more, right? For the added benefit that this could go up $1, $2, $3, and even almost $4 full dollars by getting back up to $20 per share. Now, it doesn't mean it has to, but it's definitely an opportunity where I would consider buying now for the potential to sell maybe up here, right? And then we have XPEV. XPEV is right there on this what was a resistance. It was below the resistance, trading between $10 and $12, pushed back down to 11 bucks, and it was below the SMA line, showing signs that this could potentially sell off even more. And it actually didn't. It held support above that 1076 mark right here. It looked like it was just shy of $11, pushed up above this resistance of 1143, and then he saw this really nice green candle with a really nice push up to 1170, 1180, came back down to retest that resistance at 1143, confirmed that it is now going to be a support, pushed all the way back up to 1186, popped back down for a retest at 1160, and popped back up to 1185. So it looks like there is a bit of resistance at 1185, 1184, right around that area. So do make sure you are aware of that. But if you get into a low, you're buying at 1140, you're buying at 1150. I mean, you can see some easy profits, even just to this, about 35 cents per share, 36 cents. The big thing, either retest of this 1186 mark, whether it's pre-market or over the weekend or pre-market Monday. If it could break this, just like it did here, that 1186, if it could break that resistance, it could push up to 1260 test. So if we can go from where we are now, oh, excuse me, I gotta sneeze. Jeez Louise, sorry. So if we can get in at 1150 and sell at 1250, that's another what? $1 per share. $1 per share, about 8%. And so I bought 10 shares. I bought 10 more shares. And then right here on this pullback, I bought another additional 30 to make an even 50 shares. So 50 shares right now is around a little less than $600, like 580 bucks. If I get a full position here, once it makes confirmation of it breaking, I can add another 50, and then I'll have a total of about $1,100 in to make that $100. So, these are a little bit higher than the penny stocks we normally trade pre-market. These are definitely a little more expensive than those momentum trades and those pre-market runners. But nonetheless, I'm showcasing you guys the ability to identify swing trade setups. And these are the 3 stocks with the most potential, or with major potential, that I noticed for this weekend specifically, for November 1st, 2024. Last but not least, DJT. You guys are more than welcome to interact too. I know you guys are listening. If you guys have any input, you guys have any other swing trades you may think I missed, or could be, just as good potential as some of these, let me know in the comments. Okay, last one, DJT. Now, DJT is catching that support there, about $30. It had a previous, real consolidation period here where it was kind of showing support at 29.30, and then it came below and it retested and went back above it, came back and retested that 29, 70, 29.80 area, and holding very nice support above these levels, I must say. And then it started pushing up, staying above that 200-day moving average. That's exactly what we want to see, staying above this moving average, showing signs that it is holding that support. And guys, if you want to learn more about that, you definitely can check out our Learn to Earn lesson library. There's like 12 videos right now. I'm trying to add more as time goes on. But yeah, moving averages are very important. As you can see here, a quick little example, moving averages acting as support, right? So it's going above it, and it's testing it, and it's staying above it until it fails, and then it'll actually act as a resistance. And when it's in this down period, you won't want to trade it in that downward period. So that's a really nice chart to use. And then finally, the three stages of reversal. I think this is important for everyone to understand. There is, the rejection period, which we are noticing companies are now in that very end stage of the consolidation period where it's actually wanting to make newer highs. It went from making lower lows and lower highs to now kind of trading horizontally, bouncing in this little area. And now it's starting to actually form higher highs and higher lows from where that support was. As you can say, for example, DJT, if we zoomed in a little bit more, say on the 5 minute, you can see that it's not making lower lows anymore. That descending line is now starting to somewhat curl over. Now it can still sell off even more over the weekend, so don't take my word on this. This is just my opinion, but this is the whole point of identifying, testing your theories, throwing a little bit of money in there, and just understanding, hey, this is my plan. I have an entry, I have an exit, and I have a stop loss, right? I have an area where I can take profit, I have an area where I could potentially lose money, and that's the most I'm willing to lose. Now it's starting to show signs of consolidation and starting to show those first signs of confirmation. If we get those signs of confirmation, it'll start showing signs of higher highs being made, support has been confirmed, and it'll start going up in the direction in our favor. Now this can go either way, right? But now we're starting to see that a little bit, finding that 30 support here, not making any lower lows, but let's see if it starts to make higher highs. This can potentially start to stair step very nicely and just, very slowly, doesn't have to be anything crazy. That'll be a crucial moment when it actually breaks this and then maybe retests. Maybe it's not as significant of a move that I just made, but it can definitely break this level, have a retest and then have a nice breakout also, once it does retest that level. And you can see this retest maybe back up to that, moving average, $41 or so. There's another key resistance. Looks like there's some resistance at about $43 or so. So we're going to go ahead and add that in there. 43.50. Looks like that's a nice psychological number. And it looks like there has been some resistance there. So, maybe we can see this thing kind of start to stair step and maybe it tests this Monday morning. Maybe it comes back down and sells off. Maybe it retests again, sells off again. And then maybe once that retest happens, it has a nice break above, a nice break of that pattern, that resistance, comes back up, retest as support, and then pushes up. Now it doesn't mean it has to. That's kind of what my thought process is. So I started buying here at this first sign of consolidation. It stopped making lower lows. Got about 20 shares of that. And then that was about $600. And then 20 shares down here at that $30 mark, as that is showing nice signs of support again at $30. So now we're in about 60 shares, or around $1,200 or so. I could still add about 40 more shares to get that $100 position size, but this will be probably one of my larger trades I've ever made. I'm already up a significant amount, or I was actually earlier buying the 60 shares at 30 and it going up $2.50. I was already up $135, $140, and as tempting as it was to sell those 60 shares, I did not. So it's actually came back down to where I'm only up maybe like 20, $30. But if I'm wanting to swing trade this, I'm definitely in for the long term. If it sells off a little bit more, I'll buy some more for the hope that this, not the hope, but for the plan that this will go up at this support level. So just from even 30 to this 35, that's $5 per share. That'd be $500 on 100 shares. Now, again, 100 shares is about $3,000, so it's a significant position size, especially with my other ones. One being 3, one being almost 16, well, basically 1,600 at the end of the day, and then 1,100. So that's 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5, almost 6,000. That's almost my entire account size for this small account challenge to be able to profit. What did I say? As small as 500 here, $600-$700 over the weekend. That's what, 10%. So doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but hey, that's the fun part about having a high risk account. You can take some of these trades. Now, 45%, if it gets back up to $43 where it was previously, you're kind of up where this SMA line is. That's $10 or $11 profit, even potentially $13 profit. So, $10 profit on 100 shares is $1,000. So, definitely stay tuned. Let's see what happens on Monday. Um, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see these swing trades play out, whether good or bad. I have a trade plan. I'm going to stick to it. And yeah, I'm excited to share it with you guys. Um, that's pretty much it. We have a video coming out at 3 o'clock that's going to talk a little bit more about exactly how you could potentially make $100,000 a year and the steps that I put in place to potentially help you out if that's something you want to do. It's something definitely that I use as a template to help me get started on my path to $100,000. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the live. Appreciate your time, and you guys all have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you all later.